Hope you're doing well, everyone. Just going to be making a quick video here going over what charts I'm watching, just going into the month of January here, and for the rest of the month, just showing you guys what positions I'm looking to take and what charts I'm watching at the moment. So first of all, let's get started with Bitcoin here. Basically what we had seen a couple of days ago here, basically on Monday, it was on the 13th. You can see we had this sweep of $90,000, which I've been calling for quite a bit here since we had this breakdown. Essentially where we swept this highs here, broke back below, and then broke down below this 4-hour trend here. I was looking for basically continued ranging and possibly a sweep of this $90,000 level, which we got. As you can see, quickly swept this $90,000 level before continuing higher. So if we take a look here at the 2-hour time frame, you can see these 2-hour 200s are being very well respected. So you can see holding as support on the way up, and once they are lost, you can see flipping into resistance on the way down. And even here, it's starting to getting respected once again, holding as resistance here and flipped into support once it has been reclaimed. So basically what I'm looking for here is basically as long as this 2-hour 200 trend can hold as support, and as it continues higher here, as long as it can hold, I'm looking for a breakout above this $104,000 range high and continuation higher into price discovery from there. My next target, once we enter price discovery, would simply be the 2.618 fib extension, which is at $156,000. So that would be my next target. Of course, if trends are lost in between then, I will stop targeting that level, but that would be my next target once you break out above range highs. Now, what I will say is I see everyone bull posting quite a bit here. There is reason to be bullish here, but you do have to keep in mind that we are within a range. So we could just continue ranging here. But for now, basically, as long as this 2-hour 200 trend can hold, basically kind of confluent with this blue box here. In general, if this area can hold, I'm still looking for a breakout above this $104,000 level. Now, if we end up breaking back down below this 2-hour 200 trend, then I think we will likely see just some more continued chop, maybe even one more drive lower here, sweeping this previous low before continuing higher. But basically, we just need to see this 2-hour 200 trend continue for higher. So basically, any retest of this area would be a good area to bid, in my opinion. But yeah, the main setup I would be looking for here, if you didn't catch this $90,000 sweep, it's basically just a test of this 2-hour 200 trend. So maybe we get a bit of a pullback here, consolidation. I would have my stop somewhere in this region, and then target range highs and continuation higher. Now, you do have to keep in mind this would be taking a position at mid-range, so you might be better off, to be honest, just waiting for a breakout of above range highs. So if we get a breakout above range highs here, some consolidation, maybe this 2-hour 200 trend comes somewhere up in this region, and then you get to bid a retest and look for continuation higher from there. But ultimately, that's basically what I'm looking for Bitcoin. So let's move into Ethereum here. So Ethereum, if we zoom out on the higher time frames, on this daily time frame, basically what I have been watching is this daily 200 trend. It's the very high time frame trend. As you can see, support on the way up, flipped into resistance, front ran it here, and kind of a bit choppy here, but even here you can see it starting respecting it, and front ran it here a bit, but we have reclaimed it. And basically what I was looking for is as long as this blue box, confluent with these daily 200s here, can hold as support, I'm looking for continuation higher back into new highs and continuation above that $4,000 level that has been holding as resistance for quite some time here. So far, it has held pretty nicely. We even swept this previous low, closed back above, and got this push higher. Now, on lower time frames, what we want to see is this 4-hour 200 trend reclaimed. Maybe there's a cleaner trend yet, 2-hour 200s. 3-hour 200s. Nah, 4-hour 200s, yeah. So that's trend I was watching. I was just seeing if there's a cleaner one there. But yeah, 4-hour 200s is pretty clean here. You can see, if we zoom in a bit here, perfectly tapped it as resistance, even over here, held as resistance. Here, a little bit of a deviation kind of ish, but in general, held as resistance before continuing lower. And once again, holding as resistance. So basically what we need to see here is this 4-hour 200 trend reclaimed, and then we can look for that continuation higher into that $4,000 level. So basically what I'm watching for here is a reclaim and then a retest. Maybe your stop loss, depending how market structure forms here, my stop loss will probably be somewhere in this region here. And then looking for that continuation into $4,000 and that previous all-time high. If we can manage to reclaim this 4-hour 200s. Now you may be like, oh, your targets are too high. But you have to keep in mind that we've had this full reset here down into this high time frame trend. So we usually see quite some expansion higher once this breaks out. So basically what we need to see is 4-hour 200s reclaimed. If it can give you that retest, look to bid that retest, looking for continuation higher into $4,000 and ultimately that previous all-time high at about $4,900, $5,000 level. Okay, so moving into my next chart. The next one that I am interested in is Solana. And I've been posting about this for quite some time. This high time frame area of interest. You have basically some demand formed here along with this daily 200 trend. Same setup as Ethereum basically. As you can see, daily 200s trend, if we zoom out, resistance on the way down, flipped into support, continuation higher, even held as support over here, but then got chopped up within this range. But I would expect once this price has broken out above this range for it to continue respecting this trend now that it is trending once again, which is exactly what happened. We got this front run a tiny bit here, but basically tested it. Swept previous low, just like Ethereum, into daily 200 trend and now continuing higher, just as expected. So if you're following along, hopefully you caught that. But zooming into lower time frames here, we have the 4-hour 200 trend, which holds as support on the way up, followed by resistance, of course, on the way down. A little bit choppy here, but still looking for kind of ignoring this price action here, to be honest, because this was kind of, a little bit of an interesting price action, especially with Ethereum kind of pushed above that 4-hour 200 trend. But I am sticking with the 4-hour 200 trend for now. You could say 6-hour 200s as well, to be honest, support on the way up. Flipped into resistance, kind of gets rid of that deviation there. But basically, in general, it kind of holds the same. Both are basically at the same area, so I'm sticking with 4-hour 200s at the moment. So basically, we have reclaimed the 4-hour 200s as well as basically this key area, basically resistance here. You can see if I even move this over a bit here, you can see it's kind of this key level here, which held as support, flipped into resistance, and we have now reclaimed it and kind of gave you this retest here and continuing higher. So basically everything looks good for continuation into that $260 level. As long as we can see, let me just draw this box out here for you, to be honest. There we go. As long as we can see this area here hold. And ultimately, as long as daily 200s hold, but on lower time frames, you want to see these 4-hour 200 trend here hold as support for continuation higher. So if you're looking for a setup, I would put my stop below this price action here and then look to target that $260 level. Above 260, next target, if I zoom out here, would be my 1.618 fib extension at 420. But ultimately, zooming into the 4-hour time frame, basically just needed to hold this $200 level here for continuation higher. So this is a setup I am watching for. I did take a long down here, but if I get to compound onto it here, that I do have some interest in that as well. Okay, moving on to the next one is going to be FWOG. So if we zoom out, let me show you why I'm bullish. Basically, you can see we have this high time frame, kind of this price action here. So high time frame area of interest here, as well as this low over here. And even if I draw out that wick there, we have these two wick lows here, and we swept both of them while holding this high time frame area of basically interest or support, whatever you want to call it here. And if we take a look here, measure from the highs to the lows, we had basically an 80% retrace. So a lot of meme coins, I think it was Pepe, Doc XBT was talking about this. Basically Pepe and what was it, Apu or something? Both had their rallies higher, 80% retrace before going back to all-time highs. So that's basically what I'm looking for here. On lower time frames, if we take a look at the 1-hour 200s, which holds as resistance on the way down has been reclaimed and trying to hold it as support. So basically, as long as 1 hour 200s hold here, I am looking for continuation into the high time frame trend, which is the 6 hour 200s, which you can see support, resistance. So basically hold 1 hour 200s, look for that continuation into 6 hour 200s. Hopefully we can see 6 hour 200s reclaimed then, and then I would look to target that previous all-time high. So setup here would simply look like this. So your first target here would be 6 hour 200s. And ultimately, I would take the setup with betting on the fact that these 6 hour 200s are being reclaimed and look for continuation into all-time highs. Whether you hold it that long, that's up to you. But this is a setup currently I am interested and I am taking, to be honest. Basically, swing long from 1 hour 200s here, looking for that continuation higher into these 6 hour 200s, which hopefully we can see reclaimed and then see that continuation higher from there. Okay, moving into the next one. Farcoin, basically what we need to see here. If we zoom out here, this is just a Bybit chart, but I'll go ahead and stick with the Bybit chart here. Zoom into lower time frames here. Tell you what, let me switch charts here real quick for you guys. Something that has a bit more history on it. Here we go. Switch to the MEXC chart. Okay, so the trend to be watching, 4 hour 200s. So it's a newer coin. So honestly, 1 hour 200s, I was taking a look at earlier. 2 hour 200s, 3 hour 200s is the trend to watch. Turn that one off. Okay, you can see. Yeah, very clean trend actually. Resistance, support, 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 support. Once it was lost, flip below it, reclaim, retest, continuation higher. So very clean trend here. Now, what you want to look for is basically as long as 3 hour 200s hold, continue to target higher and expect continuation higher. Now, if you're looking for a setup here, what I'd say is your best bet here is to wait for this trend to catch up a bit. Something like this, maybe price goes sideways, gives you that dip into 3 hour 200s, and then look for that breakout basically above this entire consolidation here. So something like this, and then look for that continuation higher. As far as targets to the upside, let's see what our fib extensions would look like here. Yeah, you would have run out of fib extensions there. So I would say latest pullback would have been this one. This is where I would draw my fib extensions from. Just like this. So first target, 1.618, 2.618. $3 would be your 2.618, and so on. But basically, you just want to see 3 hour 200s hold here. As long as it holds, I'm expecting continuation higher on lower time frames. I'm guessing there's a low time frame trend here. 15-minute 200s, very clean low time frame trend. Resistance on the way down, flipped into support on the way up. So that is a low time frame trend. If you want to simply trade along that, buying any dips into it for lower time frame scalping. Okay, and there is actually one more here. Hype. I think I got all the rest though. Oh, there's one more too. Hype and XRP. Okay, Hype, basically what I'm looking for if we zoom out here a bit. Basically, we had this sweep of this low, got back above it, and we're trying to break back into like this previous sort of range here, back above this resistance here. We have the newly formed 4 hour 200 EMA just starting to form here, confluent with this region. And if we zoom in, we have 1 hour 200s, which is a pretty, yeah. You can see 1 hour 200s, support on the way up, resistance on the way down, flipped into support once again. So basically what you want to look for here is as long as this region here can hold, I'm looking for continuation higher into these next three targets, 26.80, 31.70, and then $35 level. Basically your invalidation here is a break back below just basically $21 area. So if price breaks back down in here, I would cut my position. But let me just draw it out here for you. Now, whether the trend holds until all-time highs, we'll have to see. But this is the setup I'm looking for at the moment. Basically, 1 hour 200s confluent with basically that 4 hour 200 EMA. Breaking back above previous resistance, holding it as support, and looking for that continuation higher into those three remaining targets. Yeah. Yes, and then the last coin, basically these coins that I'm showing you now are the ones that I'm going to really be trading that I think have the most potential here in January. So I'm going to be focusing on mainly only these coins for trading. And if we take a look here, the other one, which we already covered that, XRP. So XRP basically, this chart doesn't have enough history, but it just broke into price discovery here back above its 2017 high. But if we zoom in here, the trend you want to be watching is, I think, the 2 hour 200s. Yeah. So 2 hour 200s, as you can see, support, resistance, flipped into support, and then we got that breakout. So basically, I don't think we get to see any sort of pullback here, to be honest. If we did, I mean, you could look to bid 2 hour 200s here, confluent with like this $2.60 level. But to be honest, I don't think we get that. You're going to be better off just looking for the lower time frame trends. So 1 hour, what about 15 minute? Not even 15 minute, 10 minute. What about 5 minute? Yeah, so this 5 minute 200 EMA, you can see holding as support the entire way up. A little bit of a deviation here, so we might be starting to consolidate a bit here and chop it up. But I'm guessing here you're going to just need to trade these lower time frames. So what I would see is like once you start seeing it starting to trend and break out here, you can see these lower time frame trends usually start holding as support on the way up, especially when it gets parabolic like this. So you can just look to bid any of these quick dips into this 5 minute 200 EMA and then look for continuation higher. But ultimately, if we do get a pullback into these 2 hour 200s, that's the region you want to bid and look for continuation higher from there. And as far as targets for it, I would say this is how I would draw it. So 1.618 we did just tap. 2.618 would be $4.70, 3.618, $6.40, 38 cents, and yeah, so on. That would be my favorite fib extension levels for my targets. But yeah, for me personally, I'm just looking to see if we can get a deeper pullback here, maybe over the weekend into the 2 hour 200s, or just some sort of retest of maybe this region here, $2.86 area. Maybe the trend is confluent with that region by then. So we see something like this, where price just consolidates a bit and then dumps, and then we get that quick continuation higher. We'll have to see, but that is what I'm watching for. So that, let's see if that's the last coin on my list. Yep, that covers everything. Basically, overall, across the board, looking for continuation higher. Just being a little bit cautious here because Bitcoin is still within a range. But yeah, that's the list I'm currently watching. So hopefully you enjoyed, and leave it down in the comments below if there's any other charts you want me to cover. I'll try to go over them for you. And hopefully you enjoy these. Let me know if you enjoy them, because I am going to try possibly doing these twice a week if enough of you like me doing them. I'll have to see if I have time. But with that being said, see you next time. Peace.